Hey guys, James here again. This would be what if I was on the wrong thing. Yeah, what if Yeongha grew up with martial arts? Yeongha is from the webtoon Lookism. Oh, Lookism, I mean, fuck. I'm just saying that too much. What if Yeongha grew up with martial arts? Yeongha is from the webtoon Hanlim Gym. I'm so used to saying, I'm so used to when I say webtoon, I'm used to saying Lookism. Or when I like study to record, I'm like, from webtoon study group. But, yeah. So he's saying Lookism. Yeah, but he's from Hanlim Gym, the webtoon. He's also part of the Blue String universe. Pretty sure that was the name of it. But it's like Jungle Juice Study Group, Revival Man, Cannot Die, that kind of stuff. Like all that's in the same universe, and some of it's supernatural. So pretty impressive. But in this verse, Youngha would not. Well, he wouldn't. Well, he'd grow up like just be the same person. It's just he knows martial arts. Basically, the martial art that Youngha would mainly learn is, well, he learns a multitude of different martial arts, but the ones that are mainly for him would be boxing and Kyokushin karate. So, yeah, he learns boxing and Kyokushin karate as he grows up. As his grandfather happened to be a boxing coach, but his grandfather also worked at a martial arts gym where Youngha picked up, well, karate and happened to be Kyokushin. So he trained with Kyokushin karate. But he also learned a bit of Wing Chun, but he wasn't so good at it. So with this, Youngha does eventually live pretty normal life. So middle school, where he does fight back for the first time, it's just whenever people hit him, they felt like they were hitting a brick wall. He just didn't care enough to fight back because he promised not to. But when his friend starts swimming at the mouth, Youngha immediately punches the guy right in the face as hard as he can, mainly try to do a full 360 in the air. Then Youngha picked up his friend, running him to the hospital. And this is Youngha's decline into being a delinquent, where he uses martial arts to basically rule. With this, Youngha does meet Suho Kang eventually, and when Youngha tries to attack Suho goes for attack, but Youngha, being fine-tuned martial arts and realizing this is a boxing strike, Youngha's actually able to dodge this and will go at him with the right jab. Right, jab and right hook. Now, Suho was actually impressed at the way that Youngha was taking this as, well, his footwork showed that he was not using boxing footwork. This is very different. The Suho dodged, getting scraped on his cheek, but then knocked out Youngha with one blow. Now, with this, well, long story short, the PvP guy had actually found Yeongha, but also found Suho and questioned Suho who the scratch came from. So I was like, oh, he punched at me, but I dodged, but he still scratched me. Which made the guy even more impressed with Yeongha. So, yeah. Now, with this, basically, Yeongha would. A lot of things would go per normal, as Daniel would rush into the ring to attack Suho at one point. When Suho goes actually will grab Daniel and that's what I mean. When Red Brick goes to grab Daniel and throw him out of the ring or hit him, the one that Red Brick had actually hit Daniel, blocked it with his elbow. But everyone looked closely. The moment that Red Brick went to hit Daniel, he slammed his elbow into Red Brick's fingers, breaking two of them, then suplexing him. That Yeongha dashed right at Suho, trying to attack him. Suho is every single attack and knocks out Yeongha. Rick stands up with his fingers, two of them being broken, and he stands up. When he stood up, he was just shocked that Yeongha was that strong. Red Brick had to be called in the locker room just to have his fingers put in a splint. But Yeongha's power that he possessed, he may have already been in the top 10. So, yeah. Now with this, we do move on to Yeongha meeting Han Lim, and he meets her per normal. Just when she does say this martial arts gym, Yeongha bows down, telling he's a martial artist, and he hopes to hone his martial arts here. Yeongha is called a punk by Han Lim. Yeongha says someone just opened his eyes that martial arts isn't just for boasting power. Yeongha didn't know the purpose of some martial arts and didn't know so he knew the mantras, the mottos, what martial arts stand for in general. And he said that's for Han Lim. She was shocked that he was actually a true martial artist. She wanted to see what he could do, and she showed off decent Kyokushin and intently good boxing. He's a boxer she's never seen before. He mixed in every single form of boxing that he knew of. He mixed in. He's even an ambidextrous fighter. Eventually, did land a punch at Han Lim. She was able to block it, but she was still sent flying back halfway across the ring. And the director was watching this and was amazed. this week, he'd been fighting Yeongha, and Yeongha began, he began stretching his limits with the director, but he sank back down to them halfway through the fight and got too tired. And showed off like a bit of Wing Chun with footwork and some attacks. Like at one point, the director even blocked one of Yeongha's punches to calculate power himself. But we realized it was more like a punch up halfway through, like a 1-inch punch. You didn't think that Yeongha could do this, but his footwork was just a coincidence due to him never using Wing Chun. Really, he was mistaken as Yeongha let out a ki and slammed his 1-inch punch into the director's block, so the director flying out of the ring. Yeongha then held his arm as it was shaking, but still, it was a really strong 1-inch punch. The director couldn't help but laugh, calling Yeongha some sort of prodigy. So that, Don Lim accepted Yeongha into the gym, and he trains there. And eventually he does participate in PvP against Goliath, but Goliath already knew that Yeongha was really strong. So Goliath, the moment the fight started, he dashed at Yeongha at full speed. All he did was basically just catch his punch and throw him right over the... He just cut his punch, twisted, and threw him out of bounds, right over the fence that they were just over the MMA gate, so just over the gate. As Goliath hit the ground, he was just coughing and said he wants a rematch. So with this we just see Goliath just jump back in, attacking Daniel. Attacking Yeongha. Quickly, Yeongha just delivers, just says, just inhales, gets in a stance, then says, "Fist of a Black Turtle." Now Yeongha will take a different route to this, as this was a Kyokushin technique, but he's more for taking a boxing route. Now this Yeongha's arm is pretty bandaged because of his whole 1-inch punch thing. His muscles just passed out, so the tape is tight, really tight, just so Daniel's arm stops shaking, or so it looks like it stopped shaking a bit. With Daniel, it will eventually spun around. Yeongha spun, and in the Fist of Black Turtle, he nailed Goliath right in the solar plexus with a right hook, but mixed with Kyokushin. Now with that, Goliath isn't flying to the gate and passes out. Yeongha just smirked, saying, I guess Goliath fell. Now that, he scoffs, saying, I can't believe someone like you's a martial artist. You're trash. So, yeah. Now with this, I guess the next thing would be Yeongha versus the boxer guy. Him practicing for his footwork and everything just for him. We want Yeongha in the boxer first fight. It's not really even a fight, it's a slaughter. Yeongha is one-siding him. He gets back into school, and, in school, he's like, oh yeah, we'll meet the girls. And I was like, alright, sure. He's doing this hanging out with his friends. So, as they go into the place, eventually that guy comes in, and when he tries to handle Yeongha, the Yeongha using his footwork is actually decently good and able to avoid every single one of his punches like they're nothing. Now this the guy then says, you got any feet, huh? And he's boxing, only for Yeongha to keep evading the strikes with really no effort. So Yeongha points out every single flaw in his footwork, and the questions how Yeongha knows this. Oh, Yeongha then sat up saying, I'm a boxer too. The guy's eyes widen, really if Yeongha's this good with footwork and this good with his eyes, how good is he with his hands? He went for a punch, hoping that the dirty box can do the trick, for Yeongha to punch his hand and break every single finger. The guy ended up screaming in pain, then basically just did a shoulder throw with one hand, right into the ceiling, knocking the guy out on impact. I was shocked that Yeongha was this strong, seemingly getting even stronger. Eventually, Yeongha would check his phone, and realized he has to fight this guy in PvP. So, yeah. So with this, when it did come to fighting the boxer, the way that fight started for PvP, Yeongha actually said, you have an option to retreat, or you're going to try again, and I'll hold back. Notice everyone can tell that Daniel fought the guy before, and they wonder if he won or lost. But the guy says, won't be like last time, I'll kill you! His hand's in a cast, thinking this will give him an edge. Then he comes his cast into Yeongha's hand, Yeongha basically just twisted, and the guy screaming in pain. Now this confuses everyone to the rest of that Yeongha's bending the cast to the point where the cast is popping off, or breaking off. So Daniel says, fuck. Yeongha then says, I guess broken hand wasn't enough for you. Now that Daniel comes I'm sorry about this. Yeongha slams his fist down, into the boxer's arm as hard as he can and breaks it completely. The guy was in pain until Yeongha kicks him unconscious and walks out of bounds. And Yeongha, is the winner. Eventually, Yeongha does return to school, and everyone's like, well, yeah, there's this new, it's the second year, not new, but this return second year who thinks he's the head of the school now. And Yeongha's home with that one guy, that one nerd that wanted to be in Hanlin Gym, and Yeongha being teaching him like basics like footwork. So Yeongha is a pretty good instructor. Even like compared to Han Lim, he's decently good in power. Like he's about as strong as her, even stronger possibly. Eventually, Yeongha ends up teaching the guy like a basic boxing posture, how to evade some punches, and actually how to have a good guard. And if someone will go for a punch, elbow them right in their hand. It'll just put up your elbows and try to direct their punch into your elbow. You're gonna break something. So yeah, pause. So with this, well, we just move on to Yeongha meeting the second year. But first, the kid doesn't end up. Well, first off, he doesn't end up like encountering his bullies. Well, then one of them went for a punch. He put his elbow, and we broke their fingers. Then using the straight punch he was taught by Yeongha, he nails him right in his solar plexus, knocking the wind out of him. And then when the guy tried to catch his punch, he's able to tilt it into a right hook, nailing him there. Then just using the right hook, punching the guy in the jaw. That's when he says, "Well, Yeongha taught me really worked." And everyone heard that he was taught by Yeongha. Eventually, Yeongha's about to walk out of school. The kid had told Yeongha it worked. Suddenly, they're crowded by goons. But Yeongha didn't seem to care. He just took them all out, really no effort. At this point, still halfway through the day, Yeongha's just leaving for lunch. He didn't really care with all these goons. He just took them down one by one with no effort, seemingly. By the time he beat them all up, he eventually headed back inside, saying that it ruined his appetite. He's going up the stairs at one point until he encounters the second year, and he's just heading to the roof. Second year then says, I guess first years think that they can be on the roof all they want. Now this he attacks Yeongha. Well, Yeongha attacks him once other guys started to attack him. But Yeongha fights them all. Eventually came down to second year trying to use his electric baton on Daniel. The moment he slammed it down on Daniel on Yeongha trying to electrocute him, Yeongha's actually able to push through it and grab the baton and snap it. He's immediately in shock as it's picked up by Daniel, like right by Yeongha, by his neck, and then he's just slammed into the wall over and over, on the wall, but I guess into like the ground over and over and over again. Yeongha's like choking him out as he slams him. By the time he's done, Yeongha just throws him into the door, knocking him off the hinges and knocking the guy down a few flights of stairs. Everyone sees the second year being beaten up, or was beaten up. He tries to just get away, saying, Don't come near me. Looking at Yeongha, for Yeongha to jump down the stairs, saying, no, you piss me off. But Yeongha led around his back and just pummeling him. By the time he's done, well, blood is caked all over his hands and caked all over the guy's face. Yeongha walked away, saying he still headed to school. Don't get any different ideas. And eventually it does come down to Yeongha fighting against him in the PvP, and he wins pretty easily like that. So the fight started, he just dashed towards him, that'll dodge a strike, and nailing him right in his chin, hard enough to give him a concussion and knock him out. It was just one strike. Everyone saw that. So Yeongha's BP is just going up rapidly. Every fight he goes in, it seems to be just him winning in seconds. Like he hasn't lost a fight with him hasn't lasted more than a minute. The longest one was against Goliath when he ran back into the ring, and that was only 58 seconds. So yeah. But this Yeongha does still meet the same Jeet Kune Do coach or teacher, being Han Lim's uncle. He learned under him and actually knew the foundation of Jeet Kune Do with like the defense and the footwork. All he had to do was just learn basic attacks. So he's learning Jeet Kune Do a lot faster than in canon. To the point where it came to him fighting, I guess, Scarface. And with Scarface, well, Yeongha wasn't really known as a delinquent. At least when he beat up people who deserved it. He didn't beat up anyone innocent. Instead, he just kind of just scared them. And still, when Scarface tried to attack Daniel, tried to attack Yeongha out of nowhere, Yeongha and him seemed to be pretty equal, just with Yeongha holding back. So, him holding back was equal to Scarface. But it come down to everything going pretty similar until it came to the PvP match. That's the biggest difference between the arc is just the PvP. So the moment the PvP started, Well, Scarface just ran at Yeongha trying to just tackle him. But Yeongha was actually able to jump over him and grab him by what little hair he had and swing him around into the fence. This when Yeongha began blocking all of his attacks, and then says he's not going to fight a friend. Then Scarface chuckles, saying, "Sorry, but until further notice, we're enemies." Yeongha then said, "That's how it is. Then I'll only fight as fast as possible." Well, he slammed his fist right into Scarface's cheek, full force, and broke his jaw. That Scarface falls over, unconscious, and Yeongha is the victor. So, yeah. And this was just a basic punch. So, yeah. And this was the longest fight by far, at 1 minute and 15 seconds. So, yeah. With this, Yeongha also gets the whole tape from his teacher, or his master. And a lot of the arc remains very, very similar as in canon to the one creepy guy trying to R-word Han Lim. But the moment Yeongha had his thing stolen from him, the VCR tape, well, Yeongha just rushed at the guy faster than the guy even thought was possible, and Yeongha kneed him right in the back of his head as hard as he can. Everyone heard an audible crack, and everyone saw that this was obvious theft. So they weren't really concerned with Yeongha beating the guy, well, almost killing him with that one knee. So the PvP match doesn't even happen. The guy's in the hospital, just some random poor victim getting his sense, the shit beat out of him by Yeongha. So yeah, if the assistant was like, okay, well this sucked for that guy. This is that. Now let's move on to Yeongha, who goes weight training, the the gym facility where they're all using drugs, and he fights that one jiu-jitsu kid. Combo was his name, I believe, or Cambo. Getting down to him versus Combo in jiu-jitsu. Well, Yeongha didn't know jiu-jitsu, but his body was simply just too durable to actually make hurt. When him trying to force Yeongha's arm in a submission hold, Yeongha wasn't even phased. He's encountered jiu-jitsu tons of times. It didn't affect him at all. By the time that Combo tried to do it, I didn't really care. He just stood up and slammed Combo into the ground over and over again. Even Combo Yeongha grabbed him by his t-shirt and slammed him on the ground over and over again. And Yeongha could already tell these guys are doped with drugs. There's no way in a few months that Combo is this strong. He called it out, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, it's drugs. Why do you care?" Which led to Yeongha he looked around at everyone saying, "If you're all on drugs, then I want to see how I fare against the drug users." I thought they all shot Yeongha, only for Yeongha to beat them all down into the gym in the span of an hour. By the time he's done, he's covered in blood and bruises and a few cuts, but in long run, he won. But at the time he heads outside, Han Lim actually was checking his phone because he had a checker on it and not wanting him to get in trouble with more PvP guys after hearing about the whole crazy guy. As he walked outside, he was covered in blood and just passed out right in her arms. Then she just went on inside and sees a giant crack in a window and sees blood dripping from it. She dragged Yeongha into her uncle's car and runs inside, looking around, trying to see what happened, just seeing people thrown everywhere. But then she goes and finds just a drug doping room and sees one of Yeongha's PvP opponents, as she heard about PvP from Yeongha. When she sees one of his opponents in there, just covered in blood and beaten down, this happened to be Goliath. Because no matter how strong Goliath gets, he will not beat Yeongha a day in his life. Yeongha is simply too strong for that. But, yeah. I'm pretty sure this would honestly end this part. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Goodbye.